All right, good afternoon, everyone. We have a special meeting of the City Council of City of Cape May, New Jersey. We are here in the Cape May City Hall Auditorium. It is Monday, July 3rd, 2023. The time is now 2 p.m. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, I was about to do the same thing.
Under the Open Public Meetings Law, notice of this meeting was sent to the Cape May County Herald and the Press of Atlantic City, and a copy of the agenda was delivered to each member of City Council, posted on the city website and the City Bulletin Board. Notice is hereby provided that Cape May City Council meetings are audio recorded and video streamed live. Live video streams are posted to the Cape May City website. The City of Cape May is not responsible if audio recording or live video streaming of a meeting is unavailable. Roll call. Deputy Mayor Baldwin.
Here.
Councilmember McDade.
Here.
Councilmember Meyer.
Here.
Mayor Mullock.
Here.
Councilmember Yeager.
Here.
City Solicitor Gillen Schwartz.
Here.
City Manager Vall.
Here.
Council, we have a resolution for the special meeting. It's number 17907, 2023. A resolution providing for a meeting not open to the public in accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12. This is for updates relating to the Shestak litigation, the COA matter, and the shared services agreement with West Cape May for municipal court administrator.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Yeager.
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer.
Yes.
Councilmember McDade.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Baldwin.
Yes.
Mayor Mullock.
Yes. Open it up.
Public portion.
Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no one, we'll close public comment and adjourn for closed session.
Okay. Time is 2 p.m.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today we have a work session of the City Council of Cape May. We are here in the Cape May City Hall Auditorium. It is Monday, July 3rd, 2023. The time is now 3:14. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Oh. First, we have to close our special meeting. Do I have a, are we going to add to the agenda those?
Yes, I believe council is expecting to take formal action on two of the items that were referenced on the closed session agenda. One resolution will be a resolution authorizing an amended shared services agreement with the Borough of West Cape May for the court administrator position. And the second is a resolution authorizing voluntary deduction of employee health insurance waiver payment and employee earned paid time off in lieu of monetary payment to resolve 2020 payments in connection with Affordable Housing Trust Fund.
Do I have a motion to add those to the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Roll call?
Just to be clear, we're adding that to the work session agenda.
Yes.
Is that the consent agenda, or do we want to do it separate?
Separate?
I'm okay with the consent.
Consent? Well, let's put it on the consent. If anyone wants to pull it, we can.
Okay.
Consent.
All right.
Roll call?
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Councilmember McDade?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullick?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I need a motion to close?
Yeah, if we
Okay.
could.
Do I have a motion to close our closed session?
I'll make that motion.
No second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Councilmember McDade?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullick?
Yes.
All right. You already called the meeting to order, so.
Yes.
Under the Open Public Meetings Law, notice of this meeting was sent to the Cape May County Herald and the Press of Atlantic City, and a copy of the agenda was delivered to each member of City Council and posted on the city website and city bulletin board. Notice is hereby provided that the City Council meetings are audio recorded and video streamed live. Live video streams are posted to the Cape May City website. The City of Cape May is not responsible if audio recording or live video streaming of a meeting is unavailable. Roll call. Deputy Mayor Baldwin?
Here?
Councilmember McDade?
Here.
Councilmember Meyer?
Here.
Mayor Mullick?
Here.
Councilmember Yeager?
Here.
City Solicitor Gillen Schwartz?
Here.
City Manager Vall?
Here.
We have our City CFO, Kevin Haney, present as well. We already did the additions. Any other additions or deletions, Council?
Any other council? No?
Okay. Moving on to the updates from Manager and Solicitor.
Yes, good afternoon, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, council members, ladies and gentlemen. We've been busy. Harry Back, the Beach Patrol, said yesterday was the largest crowd they've seen to date. Today again. Had 22 rescue calls yesterday. Last night, over the weekend, of course, I listened to the police radio, and we had a lot of EMS calls with people last night. I think there's 3 of them going at once. So it's been really busy for our staff. We're fully staffed, all the lifeguard stations, so we're fully protected on the ocean front. We're going to put off the employee of the month till the next meeting because the recipient cannot be here. The 3-way stops at Elmira and Venice are functioning very well. The neighbors are very pleased, the residents that live there. It's quieted things down, it's slowed people down, and it's functioning well. I sat there the other day and watched it for about a half hour, and not one car didn't stop. They all stopped now. Today, you're going to have Resolution 18407, 185 and 86 for a new sweeper, trash truck, and the trash truck's a non-CDL vehicle, which has been a challenge in the past, and a new beach tractor. Of course, that comes out of the Beach Utility Fund. Our EMTs, as I said, have been very busy over the holiday weekend. The parade's been applauded by many, many people. I want to thank the council marching that parade. I know it got hot. And all the candy you distributed, I'm sure you made the kids real happy. Fireworks tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, at 9:30 out front of Convention Hall, not Convention Hall, Congress Hall. Sorry about that, Curtis. We have a new IT provider for City Hall. Been going around to all the offices today, trying to see what the needs are. We're talking with Comcast to be a better provider for our phone systems that have been breaking down daily. We received 5 new Polarises with the enterprise contract that we have, 3 new pickup trucks, 6 more hybrid police vehicles that are being detailed now with all their equipment. We're still short of summer hires. We just looked at 3 people today for summer help to bring on. However, I want to compliment, I think we all want to compliment the men and women of all their hard work, especially in this heat, to keeping the bathhouses clean and generally the whole area of Cape May clean. As I spoke with the mayor earlier today, the pre-recorded messages on the promenade are going to start, and 6 o'clock every night. The flag ceremony, we hope, it's going to go over all the speakers, and we hope that our visitors pause to recognize the God Bless America. And finally, I want to hope everybody has a safe 4th of July tomorrow. Stay safe. Enjoy your stay here in Cape May. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. City Solicitor?
Nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. On to ordinances for introduction.
Yes, Mayor, we have ordinance 512-2023, an ordinance adopting the surveys of historic sites in the city of Cape May.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And this is to introduce. I don't know if that was stated.
Just have one suggested clarification for this council. These are surveys of historic sites, and the process involves HPC getting that information. It gets reviewed by the planning board pursuant to municipal land use law, and then finds its way to council ultimately for approval. There's a number of properties included in here, but one of which it's actually references 817 St. John Street, which council will recall was demoed back in 2021, and that was based on the then existing survey of that site, which indicated it was non-contributing. And that demo proposal went actually before the HPC in the fall of 2020, was presented to them as part of the idea of the Lafayette Street Park at that time. So that building's no longer there, but this just shows you how long it takes for these types of things to navigate that process. So just a point of clarification, I would actually recommend to council that you just omit that property because the building's no longer there. It hasn't been there for 2 years.
It's 817.
817 St. John's.
Okay.
It's on the 3rd page.
I'll amend my motion to add that.
So the motion should be to omit 817, is it?
Yes.
Okay. As an amendment, or?
It's just a
Amend
motion.
and introduce as amended. We
You
could do
can
it at once.
introduce as amended to omit that from the exhibit that's attached to the ordinance.
Do I have a motion to introduce as amended?
I'll make that motion.
I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Councilmember McDade?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullick?
Yes.
Next, we have 513-2023, an ordinance amending Section 7 of the City Code to establish annual renewal of reserved on-street handicap parking.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments, council? Roll call?
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Councilmember McDade?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullick?
Yes.
514-2023, an ordinance amending zoning code regarding maximum height of accessory uses to include pitched roofs.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second. Oh,
Any questions or comments, council? No? Roll call?
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Councilmember McDade?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullick?
Yes.
Just note for council that that is a development ordinance, so it will be sent to planning board to get their comments and review.
Next, we have ordinances for second reading and consideration for adoption with public hearings this evening. We have 504-2023, an ordinance amending the city code regarding prohibited acts determined to be a breach of the peace, with a public hearing, Mayor.
Is anyone wishing to speak on ordinance 504? Seeing none, we can close public comment. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments, council? Roll call?
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Councilmember McDade,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Baldwin,
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes.
505-2023, an ordinance amending Section 10-83 of the City Code to update the appointment, duties, and terms of city engineer with a public hearing.
Anyone wishing to speak on 505? The public? Seeing none, we can close public comment. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call?
Councilmember Yeager,
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer,
Yes.
Councilmember McDade,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Baldwin,
Yes.
Mayor Mullick.
Yes.
Next, Mayor, we have the public portion on the resolutions only. If anybody wishes to speak on the resolutions, please come up to the mic and state your name and address for the record.
Stacy Shan, 928 Columbia Avenue. Is it possible, since you're adding that one resolution, you could read that resolution on the disbursement or payback of the COA funds?
To read it in its entirety?
I can read it in its entirety, or I can give you the essential terms of it.
Yeah, only because it was never made public, so the public doesn't have it. I can't ask questions on it since I don't know what it says.
Sure, it's being made public right now.
Right.
It's a voluntary deduction of employee health insurance waiver payment.
Does it state who the employees are?
Excuse me?
Does it state who the employees are?
Yes, the employee's name is Edith Kopsitz. And it's, like I said, it's a deduction of employee health insurance waiver payment and employee earned paid time off. It's 40 days from accumulated paid earned time off and a waiver of health insurance waiver payments that employees are normally entitled to, provided they meet certain criteria, which this one does.
Okay. And it's only just one employee?
This is for one employee, yes.
Okay. My other question has to do with I guess it's Resolution 186. That is for the beach cleaner. Is that coming out of the beach utility? Because I noticed there's like 5 accounts listed. That's why I was. They're all beach utility. Okay. And then a payment of bills. I have a question about the bill for New Jersey Division of Land Resource for $30,000, an application fee. I just want to know what was that for.
I think I can answer that. That one is for both the permit for the beach showers and the expansion of the lifeguard headquarters.
Oh, we're expanding the lifeguard headquarters?
Well, we have to get the permit first to be able to do it. So just to be really clear, it's very far from doing anything. But since we have to get a permit for the beach anyway, and that, like you said, it's $30,000, we wanted to add at least the outline of beach headquarters. And just to be clear, if anyone's watching, that outline would be basically closer to the ocean in depth. So that's what we're asking for, is a few more feet to push out. Stacy, you remember when there was some discussion on the height of the building, the width of the building, blocking people's views, things like that. This really wouldn't affect anyone's views, but we have a legitimate issue of the amount of female guards increasing so significantly over the past couple of years. We need to increase the ladies' locker room and ladies' dressing area, those types of things.
Mayor,
They
if I-
represent-
if-
I'm sorry, Mike.
Go ahead.
The city manager mentioned at the last meeting that they represent almost 40%.
46%
of
are female
guards.
guards. But I want to make it clear for the public, as the mayor was saying, to clarify, there's no plans or design right now. We've had a request, they want to see the plans, they want to see, we haven't even started that process yet. But I want to thank the council for going forward to get the permitting started so we could start having a discussion. We plan on having a police station next year, and in the future, I guess, next would be to do a beach patrol headquarters. So that's the way I see it, and I hope you support that.
My other question having to do with the bills, I see the beach speakers, and that's coming out of the beach utility also? And the coding for the restrooms, making sure that all the expenses are coming out of the beach. Okay. And then I see a Chamber of Commerce meeting, which I don't understand why it's for $1,700 for the June meeting. I didn't know we paid for meeting for the Chamber of Commerce luncheons.
That was for attendees to go to the luncheon.
Wow, a lot of attendees.
Yeah, we work close with the chamber.
My other question has to do with the recycling truck. About 2 or 3 years ago, we purchased a recycling truck, and we went into the recycling business because it was too much to outsource, supposedly. Has the council looked at the fact that now we're buying another recycling truck in less than 3 years? If it would have been more practical just to go back to outsourcing it like we had done 3 years ago? Because with the hiring of more people with Public Works, it's the highest workman's comp injury is trash pickup. So I was just wondering if we had looked at everything before. In 3 years, we're already buying another truck, and that seems to be.
So I actually looked at the truck's design, and it's one of those ones that they have where it picks it up right from the street, which actually helps us from a workers' comp standpoint from that perspective. The other thing I know, just on a personal note, it's becoming more challenging to even get trash pickup here on the island. We've had one vendor in particular went out of business very quickly. There are other businesses right now who are even unwilling to take on any more clients. And this is just something that I've heard from friends and neighbors. So although I, understand taking a look at it and getting an RFP, I think we have to be cautious that it's becoming problematic just from a trash pickup standpoint for some people, I think, let alone trying to get into getting a recycle vendor on the island.
Well,
So-
actually, up till 3 years ago, we had outsourced it. And I think Zach remembers that we had talked about it,
Yeah.
that, the price went up, but they felt that it was. But if
Yeah.
they had looked at the long-term costs, it would have been cheaper for us still to be outsourcing it versus
And it might be
insurance and
something we
everything else.
can look at, Stacy, but, I know that the balance right now, everyone's struggling with workers and employees, and certainly, I think it's proven difficult at times to having enough trash vendors on the island, but it's well worth exploring, I would agree.
Right. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that we did pay for
Right.
through that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on resolutions?
Jules Ralph Fenton. I just have one question. The $232,000 for Kiwanis Park, is this in addition to the grants? Have we already spent the grant money?
Pardon me, I'm sorry. Can you say that again, Jules?
There's a charge for $232,000 to command contractors. Is
Yeah.
that in addition to the grant money? Has the grant money been spent? Or is this part of the grant money?
It's part of it, yes. And this is for what Command has done at the park.
Okay. Will we see a final report on this project? Because we've asked for them before, that we get a final cost for each and every project, so we know what these things cost.
Well, it was bid out, and we, of course, accepted the bid. So we've had no change orders or anything like that. So the number of, I think it was $900,000, obviously some change, but 900 stands today.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
you're welcome. Yeah, right. And just to be clear, Jules, because I know you understand it, that 900,000 hasn't already been spent. That there's a phase 2 to the project that begins after the summer. Okay. Anyone else on resolutions this evening? This afternoon? Okay, seeing none, we can close public comment.
All right. Council, is there anything you'd like to remove from the consent agenda this evening?
Anything, council?
Can I remove 180 and 183, please?
180 and 183? Okay. I'd like to remove 187 if possible. Anything else, council? Okay.
All right, on the consent agenda this evening, we have 18107, 2023, resolution authorizing a contract for professional services to de Blasio and Associates for 2023 utility and road program, Franklin Street utility improvements. 18207, 2023, resolution authorizing a contract for professional services to de Blasio and Associates for USDA rural development grant loan application for the replacement of various sanitary sewers. 18407, 2023, resolution authorizing the city to award a contract to a Sourcewell cooperative vendor, Schwartz Industries, for a street sweeper for the Public Works Department in the amount not to exceed $355,380. 18507, 2023, resolution authorizing the city to award a contract to a Sourcewell cooperative vendor, Mid-Atlantic Waste Systems, for a PACMAC model rear loader and Mac for the Public Works Department in the amount not to exceed 206,961. I'm assuming our CFO knows what that is. 18607, 2023, resolution authorizing the city to award a contract to a Sourcewell cooperative vendor, Deere & Company, for a tractor for the Public Works Department not to exceed $194,175.42. 18807, 2023, resolution authorizing an extension of the shared services agreement for the services of a municipal court administrator with the Borough of West Cape May. And 18907, 2023, a resolution authorizing voluntary deduction of employee health insurance waiver payment and employee earned paid time off in lieu of monetary payment to resolve the 2020 payments in connection with the Affordable Housing Trust Fund for COA.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Councilmember McDade?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullock?
Yes.
We are going back to 18007, 2023, which is the resolution regarding temporary open container and public consumption in connection with the Oktoberfest event and waiver of special event fees.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Questions or comments, council?
Yeah, Mayor, the reason I pulled this off of the consent agenda is it was under Exhibit A, it gives us times for alcohol being served between 11 and 5. And in our resolution, it says between 6 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. So does that matter as far as a clean resolution? The exhibit is different than the actual resolution.
They should be the same.
They-
So
okay.
Whatever council thinks is appropriate should be reflected in both.
So do we go with Exhibit A, which is their actual application for the special events permit?
I would agree
I'm
with that.
assuming that that's what they asked
Yeah.
for. So that states on the 2023 Oktoberfest proposal, it says between 11 and 5.
I have a question. Do we allow us time for setup? Because just because it starts at 11 doesn't mean that the road should be closed.
So that's actually in the application, Councilmember Meyer, on regulation street closing. They do put the 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. time there,
Okay.
but I think the specificity of, on the Oktoberfest proposal, 2023, indicates alcohol served between 11 and 5.
It does.
So I'm not sure if we need to have language that says event time versus alcohol beverage permitted time.
It says open public consumption from 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m.
Right.
So
We may want to change that time.
that's the only thing I was thinking of changing.
So do you want to just update that to 11 to 5?
That's what's on their application.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we're consistent.
But I mean, but you want to make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make
Yeah.
a motion then.
Don't we permit
So-
alcohol sales prior to that time?
Pardon?
The city itself, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Inside.
But if we want to make the
You
motion.
can do what, yeah, absolutely. I'm just
Yeah.
questioning if
Yeah.
that
All
differs.
right, so we have a motion to amend it to 11 to 5. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments on that, council? Roll call?
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Councilmember McDade?
Yes,
Deputy Mayor Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullock?
Yes. Do I have a motion on the amended resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Councilmember McDade?
Yes,
Deputy Mayor Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullock? All right. Next, we have 18307, 2023, a resolution authorizing an award of contract for technology maintenance services to Barber Consulting Services, LLC.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Questions or comments, council?
Go, sorry.
Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Okay. I pulled this from the consent agenda just because I'm concerned with, we're under the services contract, it talks about the payment of this. And the contract goes from July the 1st and ending December 31st. And it's going to be prorated, but the payment is due on July the 1st. The entire payment, pre-services being rendered. Can I get an explanation on that? We typically don't do that.
Yeah, so how the contract works is the payment is sort of a bank that the time we use, the service time from them gets applied towards, and then anything that we don't use under that $8,500 would then get rolled over to future site visits or service calls.
So we're paying them in advance of services being rendered.
Is that just due to the way they want to execute on the
Yeah, that's
the
just-
contract?
Yeah.
Is this a vendor that we've used previously?
Yes, we have. The police department's very pleased with this vendor.
Okay.
I used them also in Lower Township, and they do an outstanding job. They go into each office once a week and talk to each person to make sure all their computers are up and running. They're available 24 hours a day for emergency needs of the public safety components that we have here. So we're very pleased, and I can assure you he'll do a good job and a cost savings.
Okay. Is part of this contract, I know when we had the JIF representative here, she talked that the security assessment to be done on our IT systems. Is that, will be part of this contract also, Mr.?
Yes, that, and he's going to do the current needs of the JIF. So everything's going to be
Okay,
covered.
all right.
Thank you.
You know, I'm sorry, I forgot one question to ask you, Kevin, when I emailed you on this, and that is, what happens when we get to 8,500?
Well, per the contract, it can't exceed 8,500. So my understanding would be,
I mean, if we have...
That's the limit.
Because we have emergency calls, do those fall outside of this number?
Is that,
No, that's all included. That's, the emergency calls are all included.
Okay.
The only additional costs that we may have going into the next year is if we have to improve some of our inventory.
Yeah, I mean, they have identified that there are additional on-site visits will incur, 1 to 5 hour travel fee, et cetera. I'm just saying, if we run out of 80, if we have problems and we hit 8,500, what are we going to do?
That's sort of, it's not sort of, it's on the contractor when they make a proposal. If I go over a certain amount of hours for the year, that's too bad for me.
Too bad.
I just have to do what I have to do this job.
Okay.
And that's the type of proposal that this is. They gave you a not to exceed figure, which has been prorated for half the year now. And then we put it to the end of the year, just out of convenience for council to make sure that we're doing renewals at the beginning of the calendar year, not in the midstream. So that was why we just did till the end of the year.
which, based on how this model, this contract is structured, it may work to our benefit.
Absolutely.
If there are more needs than they may have anticipated. And being 6 months gives us a chance, on both sides of the equation, to ascertain, exactly how much
Council's-
support is required, because I don't know
Yeah,
necessarily.
you're right on the money.
Have an
Wanted to
idea.
give 6 months. At the end of, I'll be telling you in December how things are going, and if we want to do it for another year, however. So a 6-month trial, and I can assure you, working with the guy, our staff's going to be very happy.
I'm not doubting that, but I'm looking at the way that this contract is structured, and it does state that phone support and remote support will be billed at $90 per hour per technician, which is over and above. I just am concerned with us, number one, paying it a little bit, paying before services are rendered, and then additional funding being out there. So the way that I'm reading that, and if I'm reading it wrong, please let me know, but it looks like it's going to be additionally billed at $90 per hour.
My understanding was that this was a not-to-exceed figure to fulfill these needs for the end of the calendar year. If that's not what the contractor is proposing, that's not what my understanding was. And I don't think the city manager was under that impression either. So what we can do is we can confirm that with the contractor. But I understand council's need and desire to cap that. and provide an expectation for budgetary purposes so that we don't spiral out of control.
Well, let me ask you this, because we're going to need this gentleman, or lady, I actually don't know who it is, but to work. Is there something in this services contract that would make you more comfortable? And
I think council has the authority to simply say that the authorization to proceed is capped at
so
8,500.
let's do that.
And I think the resolution may indicate that already.
Can we clarify?
Because that's the part of this that I drafted, is the resolution, and that was my understanding when I drafted it, is that council was not looking to have an open-ended engagement. That's not the type of thing that's usually done.
So, see, the only thing I would say is it may be that our resolution indicates that and stipulates that, but if the exhibit doesn't, and if there's a conflict, we've had another contract in which, we found it.
That's a proposal from city
Okay.
council to proceed with work, and if they initial that, that's what is going to govern.
So the resolution is.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And they can be advised with, congratulations, but this is a not to exceed
Okay.
figure.
And that's what it says in that
Right.
Right.
language of the resolution.
Okay, all right. If that is the case, and that is how, that they've received this contract, and it is confirmed, if we could just keep an eye on that, Kevin?
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any other questions, council? Roll call?
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Councilmember McDade?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullick?
Yes.
18707, 2023, resolution for the payment of bills.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Yeah, I'd just like to pull 00039 and just look into that a little bit further until the next meeting.
Which one was that? I'm sorry.
00039.
Okay, thank you.
Aaron, since there's a reimbursement on here to me for the parade money, do I have to abstain from voting, or just, there's a reimbursement within the bills for the parade candy that I paid for. So I don't know what the protocol is. I don't think in the grand scheme of things, the $149 is going to,
If it makes you feel more comfortable, then I would err always on the side
Okay.
of abstaining.
I'm going to abstain.
I believe our solicitor agrees.
Any other questions or comments, council? Roll call?
Councilmember Yeager?
Yes.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Councilmember McDade?
Abstain.
Deputy Mayor Baldwin?
Yes.
Mayor Mullick?
Yes.
Okay, any old business, council?
Any old business, council? Any new business, city solicitor?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
City manager?
No, sir.
City clerk?
Fireworks tomorrow. Have
Fireworks
fun, everybody.
tomorrow.
9:30, I believe. Other than that,
9:30, so everyone knows they're late, but
Not
we're
just
announcing they're
9:30.
9:30. They're at 9:30.
It's going to be
So
9:30.
when everyone
AC
complains
Radican
they're
will go
late,
set them off herself if it's
they're at 9:30. Okay.
Take
Deputy Mayor Baldwin?
Just happy 4th of July, stay safe, and safe travels.
Councilmember McDade?
The same. Everyone enjoy.
All right. Councilman Meyer?
Yes, I'd just like, maybe at one of our next upcoming meetings to have the DSAL folks here to give us an update. I think that some members of the public are interested in hearing that as well. That's all. And happy 4th of July. Everybody be safe.
Councilmember Yeager?
I just, I mean, happy 4th, everybody, but I just want to make a comment that walking in the parade on Sunday this is one happy city, is all I can say. I'm telling you what, the people that are visiting, the people that live here are so great. They so much appreciate what goes on. It was really uplifting to me. I really enjoyed it.
As we
That
were
was-
being chased by a band.
That's it. Yeah, right.
Chased by the band.
It wasn't council that held up the parade.
No.
And I just echo those comments, and it was fun to see all the joy, and you could tell the kids were really loving it, and all the hard work that goes into it, our police, fire, lifeguards, our pirates.
Tourist department, tourism, recreation.
Absolutely,
and her
Casey.
staff. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
They all-
Casey,
Yeah. Yeah, Command
Knocked it
Central she is.
Yeah.
Casey said, just don't talk to her on parade day. That's
Yeah,
all she asked.
yeah, yeah.
So she did,
Tough day.
they did a great job.
Did a
Yeah,
great job,
yeah.
yeah.
So happy 4th of July weekend, everyone, and hopefully we'll see everybody for the fireworks tomorrow evening. With that, we'll open it up for public comment.
Stacy Shan, 928 Columbia. My comment is on ordinance 514, and where you're taking outbuildings from 10 feet to 15 feet. I just want to make sure that, to make sure council is made aware. This is to be cautious of this, because you're not making it a living, but these buildings are closer to the other property lines than the main building. So now you're going from 10 feet to 15 feet. That's a 50% increase on the height of these buildings that are going to be at the farthest 10 feet from the property line. In certain areas, it can only be like 2 feet. And now you're going to be having these buildings, they might not be living in them, but they might be sitting in there, and now they're looking directly on the neighbors' properties. I think you have to remember that this will become an ordinance, so it's not even going to be going to the zoning board or planning board, where people's are going to be invaded, their privacy is going to be invaded by a garage that's going to be built, and people are going to be in these garages looking down on the properties next door. I think you have to be aware of those things that are going to be happening to the neighbors with that. My second question or statement has...
Can I answer that one? I just, look, this is an opinion, so you could agree or disagree, but for what was brought up to our attention, and I agreed with, obviously, we agreed as well. When you look at an 8-foot wall, standard 8-foot wall on a shed or even a small garage or whatever, if it's an 8-foot wall, the maximum height is 10 feet. You're talking about a pitched roof that was almost nothing, and it had come to our attention. It had come to the zoning board's attention, HPC's attention. Now, of course, this will go before the planning board for approval and everything. But for instance, a couple of the applications could not do cedar shake roofs because they didn't have the pitch. And if you think of that, your walls would have to be maybe less than 6 feet high to have the appropriate pitch on a small shed or whatever. So when HPC was recommending, we'd love to see cedar shake on this roof, especially for a smaller roof when it might not be as expensive as doing your house in a cedar shake or whatever. The applicant would say, well, we can't put a cedar shake on a 12-2 pitch. It's just not going to happen. So that's what we're reacting to in this.
Well, I mean, I see what your point is, but at the same time, there's been garages built all around town with that pitch, the normal pitch that with a single garage. So, and a garage, and they all have these pitches. They don't have a problem doing. I mean, I have a neighbor next door. They put a garage, on either side of me, 2 garages. Didn't have to get any zoning or planning board approval to put the pitches on the roof. But my concern is they're going to put the pitch and then put a dormer out, and now they're going to be with the overlook on the neighbors' properties.
Understood.
Clear, yeah. But one of the other changes that we made to this, make sure it says no habitable.
Well, we say that all the time. And then, I can tell you there's a house on Sewell that they had put the garage in, and then all of a sudden they're putting plumbing and water lines in. And if the neighbor behind them didn't notice that they were doing this, there would have been an habitable area. So, we're not enforcing like we should be what's happening with these garages, these outbuildings. My second question has to do with Kyer's Liquor Store. There's now 2 stop signs there. Is that going to become permanent?
I would recommend it. Now I'm on. I would recommend it become permanent. Seems to accomplish a lot for that neighborhood.
No. We're talking in front of Kyer's Liquor Store.
I'm sorry?
In front of Kyer's Liquor Store, not the one by the electric.
Oh, no, I think it's temporary while this construction's going on with the county. But I'm not sure if they plan on keeping it permanent or
I know
not.
the county still has to finish the crosswalk.
Right.
So I'll be honest with you, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, they have to come back and do that paving, the crosswalk, the stuff we
Because
looked at, the red bricks.
I just think it gets a little confusing there because people are like,
I agree.
do I stop? Do I not stop? Who's stopping? And because it's actually only a 2-way stop. It's not even like
Right.
it's, going either way.
I don't think that's permanent, but I don't know the answer for sure.
Okay.
Well, is it even enforceable if there's no ordinance?
That was my other question, Shane.
It's county road.
Because I don't know where it came from. All of a sudden, one day I'm driving there, all of a sudden there's a stop sign.
There's allowance in the law to provide temporary, traffic directions in the course of an ongoing construction project. So I agree, this is not my legal opinion, this is my driving through there. I think it's a little disjointed too, but I think if that's what they've determined is, adequate to protect safety out there for now, it's enforceable.
But I don't know, is construction still going on there? 'Cause I thought it was complete.
No, the crosswalks, there's still some striping that needs to be done. They're just going to wait till after July 4th. I think they're starting. I don't know.
But, Mayor, I will call Bob
Starting
Church
soon.
and get an answer from the county on that stop sign. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mr. Gillingsports, Manager Vol. I just want a really quick update on a couple of things we have going on and to thank Council for where we are now. Over the winter months and through several council meetings, we asked for more staff. We listened to several of the committees. The staff numbers are up. So on the police side of things, you'll notice more Class 1s and Class 2s out and about. We just graduated a class from the Police Academy with 5 new Class 2s. We have a larger amount of female Class 1s actually this year, so which is good for me for the needs that we have for the female Class 1s and 2s. So those numbers are up. Also through the winter months here, I met with the Bike and Pedestrian Safety Committee and also going in line with our LSV initiative. So we have stepped up our enforcement on both sides, the bicycles, the e-bikes, the LSVs. I'll be proud to say the officers are out writing tickets. People aren't happy about getting tickets. I've had a couple different complaints about that, but they just weren't used to getting that enforcement. So that enforcement will trigger their compliance, hopefully. A couple
Chief,
tickets.
if I can comment on that, though.
Yes.
You've done, I think, as much as you can
Yes.
to warn people, because I've seen the advertisements that have been out there that say, hey, we're cracking down. And so it's not as if this came out of the blue.
Yeah, it's not out of the blue, and my comments to this evening are more for the still paper reader that has it on Facebook, isn't on social media, because this is rebroadcast through the media when Jack puts it in black and white. So that's kind of what this is for, so.
Well, and also, Chief, not to interrupt,
Yeah.
but we also did send them out to everyone who had a mercantile license. They
Yep.
were delivered to all of the hotels, thanks to the code enforcement staff. So, I think that from the city's perspective, we've done as much as we can to make people aware in advance, so.
Yeah, and like you said, we did have that meeting with yourself, Mr. Yeager, with the LSV companies. They were in compliance for helmets. We asked them to do more for protective measures on that end of it. So I do appreciate that. Also want to inform the community and yourselves, we're coming into hurricane season as well. We have the NIXL alerts that the city offers. We use it for both shutting the beaches down, any major alerts. So you can get that information on our city webpage, capemaycity.org. Where you can get the NIXL information. Anyone that has any problems logging into that system or putting it on their phone or just getting it on their email can call my office, 884-9514, ask to speak to Allie. She will help them walk that. We'll go to the person's house and show them how to use it on their own computer so they get the necessary alerts, because the bubble may not hold forever. So the bubble's here. So we
And Chief, on that, I think at one point I may have seen on your Facebook, on the Facebook page, that they were telling people about the female checklist.
Correct,
that,
yep.
So maybe we need
I'll
to
put that back
put
out
that
as
back
well.
out there again, because I think it's really good for people to take a look at that from a preparedness standpoint. Just to know, do you have your medications? Do you know where things are in advance? Should they need to leave their home for whatever reason, so.
That's correct. My Manager Vol, myself, and our OEM team, Deputy Chief Mike Eck and Director Perinzinski, we sit and meet monthly and go over that to make sure we're hitting the FEMA checkpoint. So I'll re-put that out. Casey will put it back out in the newspaper as well to have compliance there as well. Last week we met with a man named Alex Mann. He's an autistic gentleman. He goes around the country and meets different law enforcement agencies. He was pleased to come here and enjoy our city for a few hours. We took him down to the Coast Guard base. We let him meet that police department. Lieutenant Walker and Mazza and Captain Bobik ran that while I was away. Alex was very grateful and sent me an email just thanking the city for a warm welcome. And he also gave us some autism information to help our officers identify with the autistic community, which is very helpful in Harmon, because if you've ever dealt with the autistic community, you may not know, and you may treat it differently. So our officers are better for meeting Alex Mann, and he is better for meeting us. So last thing I'll leave you with is August 1st, Tuesday, August 1st, your meeting will be shortened, I guess, because that's Tuesday is National Night Out. Very proud of that evening. We're going to do as best we can to invite the community back to the beachfront with bounce houses, shut the road down, cause a bunch of road blockages, and have a good time with the community. So the National Night Out, August 1st, 5:30 to 8:30. Be there, be square. Thank you.
Cool. All right, great. Any other public comment? Seeing none, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. Have a wonderful 4th of July, everybody. Thank
It
you.
was 3:58.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.